Hi everyone, so last week of March I'm going to start planting some things out because no work on my current circumstances and that, so I might as well get on. The weather's stay fine. I've not been back down the allotment to do anything. I'm just giving it a chance for the water to drain off. I'm thinking of going down over the next couple of days to maybe attempt to dig. I'll see how it is. So I've got a few bits I can do here. I've got these spring greens. These are Durham Early, that's the variety. I've just grown for my tortoise, so they're close spacing because I just want them as greens. I don't want a heart. I mean, you can harvest every other one if you wanted to and leave them to grow a heart, but I don't need them for that. So I've just sort of dibbed out 18 holes, not quite big enough for the pot, so I've got a trowel. These are desperate to go out. They've been in here. I sold these probably first week of February. I think I sold these, so they've been absolutely desperate to go out because they're getting quite tough. I should imagine once the roots tap in, they'll be off. I've got some lettuce I might put out today as well. Just trying to work out where I'm going to put things because there's no real plan or anything, because I've got to make sure I've got enough room for my potatoes in pots. The King Edwards, which I might be doing in this video. So I usually put them in sort of last week of March. I usually put them in the tubs. So we'll just see how we get on. But as the weather's nice, I've been in the garden all week, getting it cleared, tidy, painting the fence and the shed. So there's plenty to get on with. That's gardening. It's never ending. You can always make work for yourself quite easily. So we shall get on with these. So it's not special, just making sure deep enough. And as they're a brassica, take them right down. You can bury them right down to the first leaves and everything. And do that. A bit of cat shit there, my man. And just give a good pressing down. It's fairly straightforward. So I usually do more of these, but I thought, well, I'll see what I've got space for, and I might sell some more in about 5 or 6 weeks, depending on what room I've got left for things. I'm hoping to start trying to come up with a bit of a plan for stuff. But I'm actually, as been mentioned so far, that you are still allowed to go to your allotment, as far as I'm aware, but you never know when things will change. So I'm just hoping that that doesn't sort of stop. Luckily I got a lot of compost the other week, but I don't know whether I've got enough, to be honest. I'll just have to play that one by ear, because obviously I can use a load of it in my potato pots, but I need to make sure I've got enough for potting stuff on. I need to pop my tomatoes on as well. So I'll have a look around the tomatoes later as well. They're up in the loft under the lights, so I'll show you my lights at the end of this video. Because they're getting ready for a water, so I might give them the final water and then pot them on next week. Because they're in currently, well, I can't remember what size pots they're in, to be honest, 7 or 8 centimetre. So I'll probably put them into 11s next, or 12s or something. Stone down there. Try and get that out. I've not put any compost on top of this bed because I did it sort of winter time. I've just been raking it around, so I've done this morning. He's been raking the beds about just to crumble it up, because when you're topping it off with your own made compost, it can be a bit lumpy. So I just tend to come out every few days, just giving a bit of a knockabout, a bit rake or the little 3-prong cultivator. I used to use rotivators, but I've not used a rotavator for a few years now. So the big bed on the other side. I dug that over a few weeks ago and then put the compost on top. So I've been sort of walking about on that, not healing it in, but just trying to take some air out of it, because in weather like this the soil can dry out quite easy. But it's like the top inch is fairly dry. There's plenty of moisture down there, and I should imagine the rains won't be too far away. Currently I don't have much food left for Kane, but got enough to tide him over for a bit, and if need be I can put him on the grass to graze, because he don't need feeding like a lot of other pets, like every day. He's not exactly running around anywhere at the moment. He's shacked up in his little indoor enclosure, so I'd be glad to come out. Just it can still be a little bit cool, the temperatures outside at the moment, you know, especially in the till the sun gets up in the sky. But it's yeah, it's nice and warm today. And to be honest, I've not been anywhere at all. I don't think since I got back from the allotment. I've not even been out of the house, just out of the garden. You know, like I said in my last video, I've got to watch it because of my dad. You know, he's fairly high risk, so I need to not put myself at any risk. I think it's just going to be here, and then in the van to the plot for the foreseeable future anyway. Luckily I've got quite a bit of food in anyway, plus I've got a lot of stuff left from last year still, you know, collie and broccoli, so blanched, beans, peas. So times like this, it's definitely a good idea to grow stuff, you know. So if you've never grown anything before, if you've got a bit of ground, try. As far as I know, all the online seed suppliers are still supplying. Like I say, just handle packaging. I don't think it survives on packaging. I don't know. Like I say, because I don't think there's much known about this COVID-19 thing. So just be careful. Don't take any unnecessary risks. But if you've got a couple of old potatoes knocking around, there's no harm in shoving them in the ground. You know, because a lot of people have flower borders and stuff like that. You know, but sometimes at times like this, unless if you've got flowers you can eat, I'd be thinking about putting stuff in, like get yourself some onion sets and stuff like that and get them in. You know, they'll take a while to be ready, but you might be able to get some plants online. Unless you know someone who grows something, they can leave you some seedlings sort of outside. Like I say, you just need to be careful. If anyone else has handled anything, just make sure you take the precaution. I'll give them a bit of a watering in after, and then put the net up. Not so much for butterflies at the moment, but cats will be in and they tend to scuff the plants up sometimes when they're scratching about. It's a bit of a nuisance actually. But cats will be cats. Because to To be honest, I mean, squirrel does a fair old bit of digging. Keep finding nuts buried here and there and everywhere. I've not actually seen it for a little while. I'm going to tidy up this morning, moving some pots about. There was a newt underneath the pot, not seen them for a long while. So I sort of moved him under my holly bush. A couple of bits of half log stuff there and just leave him be. So that's the spring greens done. I've got a net already made up, just a quick throw up thing over it. And hopefully about 6-7 weeks time I could fully harvest these, or probably in about 4 or 5 weeks time I can start taking some greens off them. So I think we'll get on to do some lettuce once I've thought about where they're going. Right, I'm going to plant this Mazura lettuce out. Probably second week of February I sowed them. And pricked out into these 40 cell trays, but obviously it's one that's cut in half. So it's usually pretty robust, to be honest. Gives you loads, so I'm going to try and pick them when they're just big enough. Start hacking them. If you leave them to get too big, you end up with a mass. And I had 10 here last year, and that was way too many because I was letting them get too big. So I'm going to let them, as soon as I can get some leaves off them, which will probably take about 2-3 weeks, I can start picking them, and Kane can have some of them. So spacing's probably 9-10 inch in all directions really. I'm going to try and, you know, zigzag them. That's the idea anyway. So I've got a piece of 4 or 5 inch timber here, for about 4.5 to be honest. So I'm just going to little broken spade handle for a dibber. Just sort of edge this, well, it's a carrot bed, this one. It's going to come in probably about 8 inches. And dib a row of holes. Just simply try and get them out. Just nestle them in. I don't want to do them too deep, but deep enough anyway. These have been in the polytunnel as soon as they actually started to sprout. So they've been in polytunnel since probably end of February. A stubborn one here. Just put a cable tie on here. It's just a bit of a makeshift marker. Move that down a tad. Loop. There's plenty of roots on them. I'm just hoping slugs leave them alone. I should imagine they'll be out to have a rummage around soon. A little bit closer ones, but never mind. I'm just going to use another piece of wood here. What I'm going to do is kind of just flip it over, something like that, and then just be about there. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it up. Go along and dib some holes. I did water before, but it's fairly loose with stuff on top. Bit of glass there, I'll watch that. kind of just eyeball it up again and go along a bit further along. Piece of plastic out of the way. So it's with my own compost on the top, it's full of all sorts of junk. But, you know, it's like tea bag casings. Take ages to break down, so I scuff them about with the rake. That tends to rip them up a bit. Oh, so I'm just going to give them a quick water in now. That's some azure lettuce done. Well, while I've got a camera outside, I'll have a quick look round, see how things are. So all my spuds happily chitting away. Don't know if the jazzies are going to end up in pots here or at the allotment. So when King Edwards are out of the far side there, hopefully get them in pots either today or tomorrow. Oh, have a look. So it's a bit tidier out here now. Here's the greens I've just done. They're under the net. So them beds are good to go. That's basically what my compost looks like when it's raked into the top. It's a bit crunchy, but I mean this is all the tea bag casings. It either blows away or it ends up getting broken into the ground. But say it's quite lumpy, but you just come out and rake it and it soon fines up. So that's the all the azure lettuce, 20 of them there. So some shadow in the way there, but kind of thinking that maybe there's 6 pots of spuds along there and another 6 across the back, because I'll be able to get into watering them then. Carrot boxes, they're all ready. Just move some stuff out of there and you can have a look. It's Excuse a wobbly camera. But, these will be going in probably 1st of April. So, well, the shadows in the way, I don't know, but that's the, they're going to be for red intermediate. They've had an upgrade, a new box. I've not upgraded the other box, I've actually cut it down a bit smaller. I didn't really have enough sand to fill it. So I had some old compost I've shoved in the bottom, so I've half of it. Instead of boring it out with spout, I actually bored it out with just some 1.5-inch waste pipe and stuck a rake handle in and kind of rotated it round just to sort of contour it a bit. There's 24 carrot sweet candle to go in there. So that's just some bits of wood there laying down, because my carrots will be going in there with sugar snacks and probably some just normal sweet candle just for growing as wonky ones. So my pots out, gooseberry bushes that never seem to get much on because of sawfly gets them. There's all sweet peas, plenty of them, so they're going to get planted out probably next week. They're my mum's mix, Hilda's mix. Compost heap, turned that the other day, put some fresh stuff on top, so I need to wait for worms to cook to the top again and then I'll turn it in again. I always tend to turn my compost, I don't just like letting it just sit on its own. Some grass clippings in the bottom of this empty bay because I did treat the grass, so I can't use that for compost for about 9 months, so I'll put that at the bottom. The manure's slowly rotting down. It's cooled right down now, so it's just the worms will be going in to break it down. All fences all painted, Cane's enclosure cleaned and mowed. Mum's sweet pea net's back up, you can see there. So 18 foot. No lilies in these beds anymore. They came out, they're in a big planter box out front, but looks like the bulbs have gone knackered, but I've got some in a pot down there, so I'll let them grow this year and then I'll transfer them. So there might end up strawberries in these yet, in these beds. There's a peas in gutters. There's a lot more in that M1 than the other ones. Don't know why. And a polytunnel. So these are old brassicas. I've just put them in these smaller pots. Well, the Brussels sprouts, I must have had something wrong with my compost, the original one I was using, the Grow Show multi-purpose, because it kind of distorted all the growth on a lot of them. But since I've pricked them out and put them in this other stuff, they've picked up a bit. They're the Brussels sprouts, so I've got some broccoli, cabbage and some more cauliflower, some lettuce, what's that called, lactuva, sativa, some rocket, which is Artemis, nothing in there yet, that was for remain but my seeds aren't working, that's fired. Little gems, I've not grown little gems for years, so they're all pricked out. Some red salad ball, Barcelona iceberg, beetroot that you saw in one of the other videos. Radish is starting to come up now. But, onions, red spark here. I've got Santero, 3 trays of Santero. Clapton cauliflower. It goes to show bigger pots have chunked on a fair old bit. They were up top, the other ones have been under a shelf for a while. I've got on here a bowl of spinach that needs watering because it's very, very dry and quite light. That's all my lettuce seeds there, seedlings, more to prick out if I need them. Just some nasturtium seeds in there, some old ones, I don't know if they're firing, I don't know. These are swift potatoes. There's one come up there so far. I just filled these up yesterday with some, I had a bit of compost left over with some perlite in, so I just topped them up a bit. That's a tray of lettuce, that's all that I put it, they're all starting to come up. Either thinning them out or moving them about a bit because they're a bit patchy, but the giant onions, probably getting on for nearly 2 foot high now, some of them. Another maybe another 3 or 4 weeks think about getting them out in the ground. All my garlics finally come up, thank God. I'm starting to worry about it, but yeah, it was just for ages nothing happening. All of a sudden the heat came and they just popped the tops on them. Plenty of roots on them, they need to go out soon. But I'll probably be out for another couple of weeks. But the beds are ready now at the plot. I think that's it for a look around the garden. Some last year's, well, overwintered spring onions that started to grow again. But there's no signs of rust on them. That's all I've got to watch. Water butts falling over down there with the high winds we had. So that's it for down garden for a look around as far as things are. So we'll look at my tomato plants in a bit. But I'm going to carry on while the daylight's here and the weather's fine. And of course have my brew that this is just bought me before. Alright, so I shall crack on with whatever I'm going to do next. Got some 40 litre pots here, so I'm going to plant 3 King Edward potatoes in each of these, and then I've got some 30 litre pots which I'll just plant 2 in. So I should be using about 30 potatoes altogether. So I've got 6 of each size pot. Just using bog standard Verve, B&Q's own compost, bloodfish and bone meal, that salt's going in them. So I'm not going to film them all, I'm just going to do a couple at the front here. So just a case of bust some compost up, because it can come in a big chunk like that, so you need to make sure you break it up a bit. Probably going to put about 3 or 4 inch in the bottom. I'll try and get these done a little bit early because I don't know when blight's going to come. I'll get a little bit more growing time because these will probably go in the polytunnel. You know, because 12 of these underneath my shelf will give a bit of heat off. You know, especially if you get a few days like today, they'll warm up. Right, so that's the bit of composting. And just a good sort of sprinkling of bloodfish and bone, and I'll probably 2-3 ounce, something like that. And just mix that up a bit. Then that one. Right, get my seed potatoes. Various sizes, some big ones and some tiny ones, so should be alright. So, put 3 in each one, kind of evenly spaced them, I guess is the easiest way to describe it, and kind of push them down so the top of the potato is just poking up with the chits pointing up. 3 in that one. 3 in this one. And simply cover them up. I'll probably not fill them all the way up. Probably 2/3 of the way. So they'll have a good 6 inch on top of them anyway. And usually I tip the compost out and bash it up a bit first, but you know, because it is quite lumpy. But I say I grow some spuds in it, and then this goes on my raised beds at the allotment next year. His compost pretty dry, so I'm going to give him just a light water, but I don't want to soak it up too much in case it drops cold. I don't want to rot the spuds off. And then as they start to show, I'll just fill them up. So I'll carry on with the other 11 of these, and then we'll have a look at my tomatoes. Well, so as it's now staying that, I'll carry on going for a bit. I've got my spuds, they're all tucked under the shelf under here now. So I'm going to sow some celery and some Musselburgh leeks. I'll plant these out a little bit later, probably maybe May will go out. So I've got a fairly deepish pot here. It's probably about 5-inch pot. I'm just going to broadcast some of these. They are slightly older seeds. I think they were open last year. So I'll give it a couple of weeks if they don't come up. I've got some other different varieties, but it's just I've got some Musselburgh left here, so simply tap them out. You can always thin them out a bit as well if you need to. Usually plant them out once they get about 6-inch, something like that. A couple more in that corner there. I usually use a bigger pot than this, but looks like I'm just sowing for myself for now anyway. And then you can cover that with compost, but I've got some cheap vermiculite left over here. They've opened another big bag, so I'm just going to cover it. A little bit of vermiculite. Pots have been pre-watered, so should be okay. Do a label. I should put leek because I know what it is. Date is, I think it's 25th. Probably give it a little bit more water on top, but not too much though. I'll do just damp it down a bit. Celery, I found 2 packs of seeds. I got some free with the magazine, but the ones I'd actually bought were starburst and they're not self-blanching, so you have to earth them up, which is a bit of a pain in the backside, but it's only really me who eats it. Celery seeds are usually really tiny. You don't want to be, definitely don't want to be doing them too deep at all. I'll hide them down in the back corner. Great big packet like this, and there's probably not that many seeds in it at all, to be honest. I mean, celery can do alright, it's just you need to be well watering it really. So that's, what did I say, what's starburst? A bit more room to write my label, not much room left in here now. That there, so I know anything behind that. It's starburst. The other one's tango, that is self-blanching. There's another one. I'm fairly up to date with sowings now. Not sure what's left. And then it's the frost tender stuff in a few weeks. Probably get sort of mid-April for that. I don't like sowing cucumbers too early. You know, these seeds are even smaller, tiny. I don't know where you can see this. So these will get pricked out. So self-blanching, you need to, when you actually plant them out, you need to do it in like a block formation. I'm just going to put a thin layer of vermiculite over that, just enough to cover the seeds. These will go just on windowsill. It's not south facing, so they're not going to cook. Kind of north facing, but it's fairly light. Not too hot. So the labelling. So that's the celery and the leeks done. We're up in my attic. I'll let you have a look at the sort of grow lights. I've had this up here now for probably about 9 years. It's nothing special, it's quite primitive, but it kind of helps. It's where I start my big onions and quite a few of the other seedlings, mainly tomatoes. You know, so these tomatoes have never seen light of day, apart from when they first started on a windowsill, until I pricked them out. So I'll just have to sort the time around, because it's currently nearly midnight. Because I came in from out the garden earlier on and had my tea, felt nice and comfy, and fell asleep. So I've had a kip. So I'll just unplug the timer and I'll have to plug it directly in. Because the switch on the side of it to override it doesn't work. But it's currently set. Comes on at about 6 in the morning and goes off about 9 o'clock at night. Let's plug this in. So we have a bit of light now. And it's It's pretty dense in there right now, so I'll have to just tilt the camera down a little bit. I've got a little battery pack on my phone at the moment because charge will run out. So you're probably wondering why I have netting up here. A few years ago I came up and something had been stripping some foliage off, and when I had my onions in here, they jumped all over them. I think it was birds that were getting in the attic, so I went round and blocked all the holes up, but I had some netting left, so I thought I'd just waz this over the top of it. It's a bit of a faff, you know. Say it's an attic, so it's full of stuff up here. You know, years gone by, stuff gets lobbed up in the attic like usual. So I have this Enviro, it's just a T5 grow light, 2 foot. And then I have just like a singular, the way you can see that, it's just a singular bulb. And it's just on a couple of chains on the back of this beam of wood here. Just a couple of hooks, so I have to grab the chain, unhook it, and slowly lift my lights up, so it might get a bit dazzly. It is a bit of a faff, but I can't remember how much I paid for this Enviro right now. I think it was about 50 quid, I think. You can get in different sizes. So it's an old dining table, this, with the legs cut right down on it, and an old wardrobe that's kind of like cut down just to make a box, and it's just lime and reflective, like foil, can't remember what it's called now, mylar or something like that. So I'll come over and get the camera so you can sort of have a look. Right, so as you can see, it's a fully functioning loft that's just got clutter and crap everywhere. So I say that's the light. Has a little on-off switch at the side. I just have it into an extension lead, into a plug on the wall there. So that's the other light. So like I said, it's a chain. I don't know how I can see this, but they'll go up the back onto a hook basically. Real primitive stuff. So these are tomatoes. As you can see, there's a lot there. There's probably, I can't remember how many there is, 50, don't know, 59 tomatoes in total there maybe, and I've got a few leftovers I could put on, because originally I'd do some, give some away to friends and stuff, and then sell some to the local shop. So these are going to get watered tomorrow because they're getting a bit desperate. I'll try and pull one tray out. I'll pull one plant out. So they need potting on, obviously. So all healthy enough. You know, I do come in and knock them about a bit, as a gardener's delight. You know, roots haven't come through the bottom yet, so not really desperate for potting on them. But like I said, they need to be spread out because they'll start getting a bit leggy and they get a bit hard to handle. So I have to lift them all out to water them. I put them on top of this table, dunk them and shove them back in. So it's not too bad to do. And then, oh, you can tell you disturb them, the smell that's coming off them. But there's plenty here, absolutely plenty. And I only need 18 of them really. So I've got a few friends and family that'll want some, so I'll probably have to do a drive by and drop them outside their house, and then they'll come and grab them once I'm out of the way. And then down there, peppers, like peppers do, they don't tend to do much for a bit and then they start slowly growing. But so yep, they're the tomatoes you saw me, you know, sowing. Well, there's plenty there, and obviously if there's any problems I'll put some out in the polytunnel and I'll also keep some up here just in case there's a bit of a frost nip. I'll have a few backups left. Right, so I'll drop this light back down, and that'll wrap this video up, I think. So I've got these to pot on at some point. They're probably something I've forgotten, but I do need to get down the plot. I've just heard that the weather's supposed to turn bad in a couple of days, which I could really do without. I need to get that potato bed dug. It doesn't help because I've been suffering with a bit of a bad back this week as well, to be honest, but hey, never mind. Just try and get it somewhat level and cover it up. But, yeah, these do alright up here. A little bit of a faff, but do the job. Find a bit of wood to wedge. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I had someone having a go at my plants a few years ago up here. I thought, good God, bad enough outside, let alone inside your house in the attic. Right, so that's it for this video. So stay safe and take care, and I'll see you in the next video. See you now. Bye bye.